In this video, you'll learn how to create and edit browser organization schemes to help organize the project browser. You'll also see how to search the project browser. The project browser is essential to every Revit project. This is where you can access the various views, legends, schedules and quantities, and sheets in your project. So it's important that it's properly organized so that you can quickly access what you need to. First off, be aware that the branches can be expanded and collapsed, and pay attention to the text in parentheses next to views, schedules, quantities, and sheets. This indicates the browser organization scheme that is being used for that specific branch. For example, next to views you can see by level, and that is the scheme that is being used to organize the views branch. And when you select it, you can see it in the type selector, and you can also expand the type selector and choose another organization scheme. For example, when I select all and then expand the views branch, we can see that there's a slight update. And if I change it to another one, such as not on sheets, then we can see it update again. And if I select phase, we can see that there's another update. So once again, you can simply select the branch and then control the scheme in the type selector. You can also create your own browser organization schemes. When you switch to the View tab, and then in the Windows panel, expand the User Interface button, you can click Browser Organization to open the Browser Organization dialog. As you can see, there's a Views tab, as well as a Sheets tab and a Schedules tab. Those are the three branches that can use a browser organization scheme. You can select the checkbox next to one of the schemes and click Apply, and that will also update the scheme that is being used. When you select one and click Edit, it opens the Browser Organization Properties dialog, and you can take a closer look at how that scheme is being defined. There's a Filtering tab, as well as a Grouping and Sorting tab. I'll click Cancel to close the dialog, and then with the Views tab active, I'll click New. I'm going to name this one Discipline and Level. And then I'll click OK. When I do, this opens the Browser Organization Properties dialog. On the Filtering tab, you can choose to filter the views by a specific parameter. And so this would actually filter some do not even appear. I'm going to leave it set to none, and then I'll switch to the Grouping and Sorting tab. I'm going to choose to group by the discipline and then by the level, which in this case is the associated level. And then for the third then by, I'll choose family and type. And as you can see, there are additional then by options. And under each one, you can choose to use either all characters or leading characters. And when you select leading characters, you can choose how many characters you wish to display. I'm going to leave it set to all characters. And lastly, at the bottom, you can choose how to sort. You can sort by family, family and type, phase, detail level, view template, associated level, view scale, or view name. I'm going to leave it set to view name and also ascending. But if you wanted, you could switch it to descending. Next, I'll click OK, and now we have a new browser organization scheme. I'm going to select it and then click OK. And now you can see under Views there are two branches, Architectural and Coordination, which are the to view disciplines that are being used. And then when I expand each one, you can see the levels. So this is a custom browser organization scheme that we could use. When you see question marks, that means that those views do not meet the browser criteria. So, for example, our 3D views, elevations, and sections, they do not have an associated level, therefore they only appear under the discipline, but then they don't have an associated level, so there's a question mark. Also, be aware that you can create a project parameter to use for a browser organization scheme. For example, I'll switch to the Manage tab, and in the Settings panel, I'll click Project Parameters, and then I'll click New Parameter, and I will name it Browser Organization. And I'm going to leave the discipline set to Common. The type of parameter, I'm going to change it to Text, and I'll choose to group it under Other. And then I'm going to leave it set to Instance. And for the categories, I will select Views. And I'll go ahead and select Sheets as well. You could apply it to your sheets. And then I'll click OK. And I'm going to simply click OK to close each of these dialogues. And then I'll deselect everything so that the view properties appear. And now when I scroll down to Other, I can see Browser Organization. And we could enter numerical values or really anything that we wanted to for the browser organization. For example, I'll select all of the 3D views in the project browser, and then for the browser organization, I'll change it to 001 and press Enter. And then next, I'll right-click the Views branch and choose Browser Organization, and then I'm simply going to edit the existing one, and I'm going to add another then by, or actually I'll change the third then by to Browser Organization, and then I'll change the fourth one to Family and Type, and then I'll click OK. Now you can see there's another branch that has been added, and we have our browser organization parameter that's being used. So as you can see, there are lots of ways that you can customize your browser organization schemes so that the views or schedules or sheets appear just like you want them to. I'm going to change it back to the by level, which is what we originally had, and then I'll right-click the Views branch and click Search. And this opens the Search in Project Browser dialog. I will enter ground floor, and then I'll click Next, and as I do, you can see various branches expand in the project browser, and Revit will find the phrase or string that I am searching for. I can click Next and Previous to cycle through the various options that Revit is finding. Also, I can choose to match case, and when I do that, then Revit will just find the text and it'll be case sensitive. And once you have reached all of the options that Revit has found, you'll get a dialog stating that Revit has finished searching the project browser. And then you can click OK. So if you're looking for a specific view, or you're trying to find something where you may have named something incorrectly or using various cases, you can search in the project browser to help you find that. Then when you're finished, you can simply click Close.